Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to be breaking down the top 4 quarterbacks selected in the draft this past year. It will be decided who's the best by a point scoring sheet. We will go through 5 categories and there'll be points ordered 1 through 4. The most points at the end is going to be declared the heavy favorite to be the best quarterback out of the 2018 NFL Draft. And first, we're going to start off with the eye test. Now, who passes the eye test? Who's got that big body, that big arm? We already know who 1 is, and we probably know who 4 is. But we're going to start off at the bottom and work our way to the top in each category. We're starting off at the bottom, and that's Baker Mayfield. Baker does not wow you with his physical ability. He does not look like this guy that can launch the ball 80 feet in the air. He does not look like an NFL quarterback. Let's be honest. He doesn't. He doesn't have that big body. He doesn't have that feel to him. But his playing ability, which we'll get to, is certainly that. But overall, he does not pass the eye test for a lot of people, and with other prospects, I don't think he does. Number 2, we have Sam Darnold. And Darnold, he's bigger than Mayfield, but he's not as big as Rosen and Allen, I don't feel like. I feel like Allen and Rosen are just taller, bit better overall in that category, and we'll get to that. But Darnold, he's not light, he's thick, he's not short, he's got some good height to him. Overall, this is really just the eye test. It has nothing to do with their playing ability, just what people's first glances are. Number 3, I have Josh Rosen. The reason why I have Rosen here is because he's slightly taller than Darnold. He's slightly taller. Overall, that was what won him the 3 points instead of the 2, and I just barely edged him out over Darnold. Overall, you could swap those 2, no problem, I feel like. It's just not a matter of it. And who passed the eye test for the most points? Was there any doubt? I mean, this dude's just a freak of nature. 6'5", is incredibly fast, and can gun the ball downfield. Of course, Allen was going to be the number 1 guy. He was obviously the best looking guy entering the draft for the quarterback position. But we don't know about his playability that much. But if you're just taking a guy based off his size, is overall just arm talent, you're taking him number 1. So that's why he was awarded the 4 points. Now we're going to go a bit more to the actual skill side, and we're going to look at their college stats. And we are just going from 2016 and 2017. That's the stats we'll be looking at, because that's when Sam Darnold entered. So it's on a even playing base that no one's got this heavy advantage. We are looking at 2016 and 2017 stats only. And we're going to start off with Josh Allen, who is in the rear, with playing every game in 2016 at 14 apiece. But here's where it starts to get a little iffy. Are the 28 touchdowns, which is good, to 15 interceptions. That's not good. It was showing he was having a big time making the right reads in that year, and it happens to every college quarterback, but not for the number 7th overall pick. You don't want those stats appearing. But he is a gunslinger, so those picks are going to happen. Another stat I don't like, sacked 26 times. In the Mountain West Conference, that's not really good. And we will have to see how he does with a bad O-line in Buffalo, all that. And his completion percentage in that year was 56. It's not good. And we look at his 2017 stats. 11 for 11, missed a couple games. Had a better completion percentage at 56.3, and had a noticeable drop in yards, missing 3 games. It's going to happen, but still, it's a noticeable drop to 1,812. The previous year, he was at 3,203. Go down to 1,812. Missing 3 games will affect your stats, but not that dramatically, I feel like. And he had 16 touchdowns compared to 6 picks. That's not really great, but it does show he was having a bit better time reading the field. I don't think 3 games he's going to get 9 picks, so that will overall be down. But this is the stat you really kind of get scared of. 22 sacks. 22 sacks, missing 3 games. The previous year, he had 26. You want to see those numbers go down. And it absolutely could be because Wyoming lost some offensive linemen. But as a quarterback, you have to be able to read. You have to be able to see the field, and you have to be able to read the blitzes properly. That's something that's a little bit scary for me, especially looking at the Bills' offensive line currently, which we have a lot of questions about. That's why he's only awarded the 1 point here. The guy who's getting the 2 points is Josh Rosen. And the reason why I had Rosen barely over Darnold is because his completion percentage. I'm going to be honest, it was due to that in a nutshell. He only played 6 games in 2016. That's not good. That's a question about durability. But 59.3 completion percentage, that's a lot better. And 1,915 yards. So he did better that year than Allen did in his 2017 year. He passed for more yards with 5 less games. It's a big plus. 10 TDs, 5 picks. Again, 5 picks you'd like to see go down, and I think you can see them go down in his next games, in his next year. And we're going to start off the 2017 year with 11 games. That's good. 62.5 completion percentage. That's a lot better. You improve it pretty much 3 whole points. That's impressive. Then you look at his yards, 3,756 yards. It's impressive. He's improving. 26 touchdowns, nice. 10 receptions. I would say he was on pace. And, I mean, he didn't really take the improvement in that category. He's a smart guy. But I wonder how much of that has to do to the fact UCLA had no pass protection last year. When I saw UCLA games, he was running for his life. And I did not watch many Wyoming games compared to UCLA games. UCLA, much more marketable brand, watch a lot more of their football. Every time I saw them, especially the Memphis game, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, that Memphis game, he was running for his life. But when he had time to throw, he wowed everyone. Clocking with the 3 points, I have Sam Darnold. And really, I think if Baker's not included, he's getting the most points in almost every category. But due to the fact Baker had a better college career, he's going to get more points. We'll get to his stats in a second. Right now, we're at Darnold, and he has had impressive stats in only 2 years. Mind you, he did this in 2 years. He played 13 games his freshman year, started 10, and everyone knows he should have started against Alabama that year. He should have started from the very beginning, but they had issues keeping their quarterback, and they wanted a good backup just in case. So to keep him from transferring, they had to play him. But Darnold, clear and cut, was the better quarterback. With a completion percentage of 67.2 for a freshman. That means he's got a better completion percentage as a freshman than Allen and Rosen did their final years. Just think about that for a second. And 3,086 yards. And that limited amount of games, that's impressive. And the reason why I'm saying limited is because he didn't play much in those 3 other games. He pretty much did that in 10 games. And a lot of it probably was due to that Rose Bowl against Penn State. 31 touchdowns to 9 picks. Now, like I said, 10 games. I mean, I guess he wasn't throwing at least 1 pick a game, but still, that's not the numbers you want to see. You would like to see that go down, especially from a franchise quarterback. And we look at his 2017 year, he did drop off a bit in the completion percentage. He did play every game, though. So we're going to look at his completion percentage to a 63.1. Still good. Posting a career UFC as 64.9. That's still really impressive in my mind. And you look at his passing yards, 4,143. These are impressive numbers, and he had one really bad game against Ohio State, which I think included a lot of turnovers, which we will clearly see here in a second when I talk about that. But you look at it, Darnold is clear-cut the better prospect now in Rosen when it comes to statistics-wise. He's putting up better statistics in college, and he was a lot younger. And he did not know the players as well as Allen Rosen did. And 26 touchdowns. It's good. 13 interceptions. That's the issue with Darnold. That's the issue is his turnovers. With 22 interceptions in his career there, that's the biggest issue, and I think that's what everyone's questioning. Is how will he hold on the ball? Will he have turnover issues his rookie year? Personally, I don't know because I don't think he'll play much his rookie year. You got two quarterbacks in front of you, which we'll get to in a second. And Baker Mayfield. Now, Baker, he was winning this category hands down. And we're just going to leave it like this. With how much I've been talking about completion percentages, here's his last two completion percentages years. 70.9 and 70.5. That's phenomenal. He's putting the ball in certain spots. He's reading the defense, and he's making good throws. 2016 had 3,965 yards. 2017, 4,340 yards. Incredible that he was able to make those progressions. And you're probably saying that the Big 12 had no defense. Trust me, I know. But just remember, Oklahoma schedules tough opponents to make the NCAA tournament. They have to. They played against Ohio State. And they also did some numbers against Georgia. Impressive in my mind still. And touchdowns. 2016, 40 touchdowns. 2017, 41. Pretty much on pace there, I would say. The picks. He decreased his interception total in 2017, which we'll get to. In 2016, he had 8 interceptions. 17, 5. Overall, that's pretty good. And I'm just going to throw this out there. In 2015, he was sacked 39 times. 2016, 18. That means he was actually reading the defense. When they were lining up for a blitz, he was able to read them. He wasn't holding on the ball too long. He was getting them out early. He made progressions. He progressed from his sophomore year to his junior year. And what's impressive, every game at Oklahoma, he started except one, which was due to a suspension. He did play in that game later on. But you look at the numbers. Can you tell me how Baker doesn't seem like the best quarterback on the statistics page? You look at those 2 years. 70 completion percentage. 70. That's Tom Brady level at college. That's Russell Wilson level at college. That shows you he's reading the field at a young age, and he's only going to get better at it as he improves, and he gets older, and he progresses. Anyways, we're going to go to quarterbacks in front of teams now, in front of the players, because everyone's got them in front of them. We all know who they are. And we're going to start off with the 1 point. Sorry, Alan, we're giving it to you again. And the reason why, there's so many questions. Nathan Peterman. Is he that guy who throws a lot of interceptions in a game? A.J. McCarron. Isn't he just a backup? He didn't do much in Cincinnati. He looks like a career backup. I don't think he'll bring much to the table for the Bills. And what scares me is they might have to throw Allen out there, and he could get hurt behind that horrible offensive line. I don't like Allen's quarterbacks in front of him. That's why he's only getting 1 point. Quarterbacks, the 2 points is going to Baker. And the reason why I'm not the biggest fan of the quarterbacks around Baker, well, there's only one. He's average at best. That's Tyrod Taylor. And Tyrod still thinks he's a starter. He still thinks he is the guy. He's not going to really be teaching Baker as much as the other two we'll get to. And I think that might hurt Baker a bit in the early years of his career. And let's not forget it. He's going to stick with Tyrod throughout this year. Tyrod is getting his chance to shine. If Tyrod does good, Baker might be on the sideline for another year. Anyways, number 3 for the 3 points is going to Josh Rosen. And anyone who's saying Sam Bradford is injury prone, you're right. He cannot stay on the field. Well, when you hear everyone talk about it, Sam Darnold is the best teaching quarterback. Everyone wants Bradford to become a coach in the league when he retires. I know I keep on saying Darnold, just leave it out. Bradford is arguably the smartest quarterback in the league, and he knows how to break it down for these younger guys. And I feel like him and Rosen will have a lot of good times breaking down the plays. Rosen's incredibly intelligent. I think Bradford's intelligent and will show him the proper ways to get the ball, to read the defense, to do all these things. And let's not forget, Bradford is a pretty good quarterback. He did a lot of good things in Minnesota before he got hurt. He was showing some potential in Philly, and he had a couple good years with the Rams before the ACLs gave out. And the 4 points are awarded to Darnold. And the reason why I'm giving it to Darnold is because McCown and Bridgewater are above him right now. So I get 2 quarterbacks above him that I can say are good to average. I would say they're in the middle there. But the reason why I like McCown more at teaching him is because if you watch Jets Falcons, every time Darnold was throwing the ball, he was watching intently. When Darnold came to the sideline, he was showing him everything. When Darnold scored a touchdown, he was celebrating like he just scored the touchdown. That shows you McCown is invested in getting Darnold to be the best quarterback he can be. It shows you that McCown is being unselfish. And McCown might be a coach in the league. He was going to be a high school coach before the Bears called him. And let's not forget, Bridgewater, he's got something to prove. I wouldn't be surprised if Bridgewater gets some playing time this year if McCown gets hurt. Bridgewater is probably their best bet instead of Darnold to win now. The reason why I'm saying Darnold is best to stay on the bench is because you want him healthy. You don't want him taking the abuse. You want him learning the playbook. And I think Darnold, clear-cut, has the best quarterbacks in front of him. Now we go to talent around. And Buffalo, I'm sorry, but I'm giving another one to Josh Allen. And the reason why I'm giving him one is because you got McCoy, you got Benjamin. Who do you have for O-line? Got Charles Clay at tight end. He's nothing special. Your wide receivers aren't really that good outside Benjamin. There's so many questions on that Bills offense that I think everyone's got to agree at the list here, they have the weakest offense. Number 2 for the weakest offense, I would say is Sam Darnold's offense. The Jets, they have a lot of questions. I like Isaiah Crowell. I like Robbie Anderson. Quincy Enunwa, he's got some talent. But they really don't have much outside of that. They have a decent line, not a great. They have a mediocre tight end group. And they don't really have anything outside Anderson at the receiver position. Curse, yeah, but Enunwa, again, he's coming off an injury. We don't know how he's going to be. Curse might be their number 2 receiver. Curse is not anything special. He's average at best. And number 3, getting the 3 points here for talent around, Josh Rosen. I was tempted to put him at 1, to be honest. But I didn't. I held back. But the reason why I was tempted to put him at 1 is they have a good running back. They have a top 5 running back in the league if David Johnson stays on the field. That team's automatically better. You got Larry Fitzgerald, who has been one of the best wide receivers of all time on the outside for Rosen to throw the ball to as a safety blanket. You got a receiver I really like they just drafted in Christian Kirk. Kirk, I think, has got a lot of potential. It might be the successor to Larry. I don't think at Larry's full potential. I don't think he'll be that, but I think he'll be a good receiver for them. And their O-line's not bad. They've made some improvements. But overall, you look at it, you have a safety blanket in Larry Fitzgerald. You have a rookie's best friend in David Johnson. And you have a good young wide receiver on the outside in Christian Kirk. And the most points for talent is Baker. The Browns did a great job in getting talent around Baker. They already had a good O-line. They have a good running back core. Carlos Hyde, Nick Chubb, David Johnson. I'm not David Johnson, Duke Johnson. Sorry. And wide receivers. Jarvis Landry. Pretty good, I would say. Josh Gordon. On the field. The dude's awesome. And the only other question is the receiving group outside of those two. Who's going to play the third receiver spot? They're talking with Dez Bryant. At the time of this, Dez Bryant has not signed anywhere. I don't expect him to until an injury happens. And Antonio Callaway, I like him. I think he's got a lot of talent. I don't know if he'll stay on the field much. The dude's got a lot of issues. But let's also not forget, the Browns drafted tight end last year, David Njoku. He could be taking a big step this year in becoming that number 1 guy, that security blanket for the Browns. Everyone likes to have a good tight end. If you have a good tight end to rely on, you're golden. You'll see that this year with the Cowboys. You have a good tight end, you have a lot more space for the receivers to work with, you have a security blanket for the quarterback to check it down to. And now let's get to the coaching staff. Buffalo, You're not last. Josh Rosen's got the worst coaching staff right now, I feel like. And the reason why I put them here, it's a completely new group. It's the only reason why I put them here. Mike McCoy, he's not bad, but I haven't seen him do anything special with young quarterbacks. I see him do something special with older quarterbacks that are more established. Not with young quarterbacks. I have not seen that yet. And Steve Wilkes is a new coach. Don't know anything on him. And we're going to go to number 2. 2 points. Josh Allen. You get more than one. Sean McDermott, he coached last year. He showed that he wants to win. He's wanting to make the best move for the team. But the Bills, I don't know their OC is off the top of my head, to be honest. That kind of explains to you why I picture them there. The reason why they're getting 2 points instead of 1 is because Sean McDermott's entering his second year. Steve Wilkes entering his first year. Coach, number 3, Baker Mayfield. And don't come try and crucify me, Hugh Jackson. He's only won in 1 game. I'm not putting them here because of Hugh. I'm putting them here because of Todd Haley. Todd Haley, who has been coaching with Ben Roethlisberger and helping Ben out. Todd Haley, I would say, is a top 5 OC in the league. I would definitely put him in the top 5 category. I feel like if the Browns make the change at Hugh during midseason, Haley will be the guy. Because that's who Baker's going to trust, is Todd Haley. Haley's going to be tough on Baker, but Baker will thank him for it. Haley will by far be the best coach on that Browns staff this year and will be Baker's best friend. Because he'll be designing plays to keep Baker clean in the pocket. He'll be doing things to make sure Baker makes his progressions. And this is if Tyrod gets hurt or if they bench Tyrod. We will find out as the season progresses. But the best coaching staff, and this might come as a surprise to people, but I love the Jets coaching staff. I love Todd Bowles. I feel like they've done the small things right. I feel like that. And again, why I'm also putting them here is I gotta include McCown as a coach / player right now. McCown is going to help Darnold out a lot. And it's not going to be a little, it's going to be a lot. I overall feel like Darnold's got the best staff around him to also help him improve. And, of course, this is all due time. This is all speculation at this point. But with the total points we have awarded out here today, we have Josh Allen being the worst of the group with 9 points. We have Josh Rosen being third with 12 points. And here's when it becomes close. And I guess you could argue you could maybe move quarterbacks up from Baker to 3 and you could tie it up. Absolutely. But right now, I have them at 2 at the quarterbacks. So Baker's got 14 points, taking second place. Sam Darnold taking first place with 15. That shows you how close I think those two are. And there's separation between them and Rose and Allen. There's a big separation between Baker and Josh Allen, I feel like. A small one between Rose and Allen, but a big one between Baker and Allen. And that's where I feel you can definitely tell the Browns made a smarter choice getting Baker than Josh Allen. But that's going to do it for today, and I do hope you guys enjoy. And we got some football games on tonight. And the number 1 game I'm going to watch is, of course, my team, the Steelers. But besides that, I'm interested to watch the rookie QBs. I'm interested to watch Sam Darnold tonight, who I have as the best quarterback in the 2018 draft.